protesters clashing with immigration officers following the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy this morning. Sammy Salina was on the scene. Her crew quickly edited these images together from the protests earlier.
When did you get here, T?
I got here shortly after the shooting had happened. They hadn't even gotten the police lines up yet. Which we were down by the Black Forest parking lot when I got here. Minneapolis emergency responders were administering CPR around the person on the west side of the street across from Landau Donuts. A lot of pointing mace and bear spray.
Hang on. Be safe, get safe. We're just gonna back up here. Thanks, T. Get out of here, bitch. Hang on.
Just trying to get things out of the street. Watch out.
Certainly some tense moments that we saw earlier today. Well, just within the last hour, we did hear from local leaders again who are now calling for Governor Walz to call up the Minnesota National Guard to help reinforce local law enforcement resources in Minneapolis. Megan McPherson was at that press conference and joins us live now. Megan?
Yeah, hey guys, as you mentioned, that press conference wrapped up here at City Hall just within the last 30 minutes or so. The biggest piece of new information that we heard from Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is that on Monday he will be filing a declaration to encourage a judge to rule on a temporary restraining order that is designed, they say, to seize ICE operations here in the state. We also heard from Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, who, as we heard earlier in that press conference, shared some of the updates that we've been receiving on throughout the day about the shooting incident, the fatal shooting incident from this morning. But he also said, and I wanted to note this, that while initially some of those protests right after were peaceful, some of the protests did escalate. He said that there was a lot of unlawful activity going on down there, including some barricades, objects like glass bottles being thrown, and then also 2 fires that he mentioned that were started, and this did prompt the use of some less lethal munitions from Minneapolis police, so he did comment on that. Now, one question that was also asked by another member of the press here drew a very strong reaction from Mayor Frey and Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. That question was, do you expect the Trump administration to abide by a temporary restraining order if approved? Take a listen to his response.
The question is, will this administration abide by a court order? These are the underpinnings of our democracy, of our republic, and of this Constitution. The answer better be yes. Whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, you abide by those court orders.
As you heard from their tension certainly running high, I'll send it back to you.
Megan, thank you. Governor Walz and other state leaders also reacting to today's shooting, many firmly pushing back at the federal government's account of what happened. Our Kent Erdl joins us now with what they had to say. Kent?
Yeah, Governor Walz took the podium behind me at about 1:30 this afternoon, along with the Commissioner of Public Safety, and he repeated those calls to end what he calls the occupation of these Twin Cities and state of Minnesota by ICE. He also vowed very forcefully to prosecute and investigate what happened today. Take a listen.
I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening. But I have a strong statement here for our federal government. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this. It must have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain terms this morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period.
Now, at the time of that assertion, we already knew, according to the Department of Public Safety and the BCA, that they were blocked from conducting an investigation at the crime scene by the Department of Homeland Security. So I asked the governor, back to that fundamental question, what happens if the president and the federal government says no? He said he didn't expect them to cooperate, so I followed up with this. what are the people of Minnesota supposed to do who are in the middle right now? Because if they do Stonewall and you're trying to investigate, is that force
Yeah, no, it's a
on
good
force?
question. And look, I speaking to the people of Minnesota right now, I hear that scream from you, and I'll continue to plead and ask you for peace. And I know the answer is, you ask us for peace and we give it, and we get shot in the face on the streets coming out of a donut shop. We cannot give them what they want.
Again, the governor talking about trying to urge the people to be peaceful and calm despite everything that they're hearing and seeing on television. As you mentioned, the city of Minneapolis has requested the National Guard to help out with some police functions. We're going to be getting more information on what that might look like here. We know that they're going to be helping out. We'll be providing more information as we get it throughout the rest of the night. Back to you.
All right, Ken, thank you so much. And of course, plenty more on this story unfolding. It's continuing to fold, has been since 9 o'clock this morning. Coming up next, we're going to hear what use of force experts have to say after watching those videos.